to our meeting. There are no special recognitions or presentations. Are there any delegations? No delegations. Superintendent's update. Superintendent, do you have anything to update?
Yeah, I have a few things. We've been doing some summer PD, and I know Rebecca's been working to schedule that with our new classroom teachers. I'm getting some great feedback from them when I see them coming in, and so we've done brand new teachers and then teachers 0 to 3, filling in gaps maybe that they didn't get through the course of the year. So we're really trying to beef up support for our new people, because we think that's really the key to retention, making sure they're supported those first 3 years. So we've worked really hard this summer and want to add more things. So appreciate that. Appreciate Ms. Leesburg for working with that. We also have our special ed training coming up in August. It's 2 full days, and we're trying to hit all those areas. It's the same thing with new special ed teachers. They have to feel supported. They have to have the resources they need. So we're really working hard to tailor those 2 trainings to meet their needs. And thank you to Susie for doing that. So, a lot of planning and scheduling. And then we have our principals coming in July 22nd, 23rd. We're doing a 2-day focusing on, and then we also have another morning more on the leadership piece of it and ownership of your building, plus all of the other just day-to-day things that we feel. We've got a lot of new administrators. So we're working on, we just kind of jot things down as we see that it's recurring several times. And that's how we made the agenda for those 2 days, to address things and let them ask questions as well. I guess I have a question for the new board. Sometimes we do a board retreat where you hear from the supervisors from all of the departments, and you also hear from our principals. What's your desire this summer? I mean, we're running out of days. I don't know whether you want to do a full day, partial day, try to coincide it with something we've got going on. I just don't know what your thoughts are.
I like having the information presented to us as a board. I think that's very important, and it's very good to be able to see what's going on. I don't feel we have to go away and done in the past. I think we can stay around here and probably have a day. I would suggest a day.
It's a matter of finding the day.
We did it here before.
Yeah, we did the last one here.
Yeah.
And usually the morning is with department heads, having an opportunity to talk to the board. And then afternoon, I think we brought the principals.
I think we did 2 days last time, didn't we? As we split the principals up.
Maybe because of all, yes.
We did.
Maybe a day and a half.
I'm looking at the calendar book. We don't have anything on Tuesday the 30th. We as board and all.
We've got to remember too, we don't have quite as many meetings.
I understand that, But I think also we could add to that meeting is that we also set the superintendent's goals for the coming year. Come that day and get those ready and have that as part of the meeting, plus hear from from our principals. And I see something else I would like to see us look into doing, is I'd like to see us have everybody that is in the county that is certified as to be an administrator, and some have interviewed on a constant basis and, have been unsuccessful for whatever reason. I think that we should have them come in, and I think that they need to hear from you as a superintendent.
We've got that on, we're trying to pick a date for that.
You're trying to do that separate.
We're going to, we're bringing in, there was a request to do a training, like an interview type training on what kind of questions, how do you conduct yourself in an interview, to give them a little bit of an idea for interviewing. That was a request. So we talked, I know Pam and Julie to pick a date. We got to pick a date
Okay.
to do that. So we do have that on the schedule.
Yeah, you indicated that, but that was in a different session.
Yeah,
You
something
did.
different. It was just going to be either a morning, bringing them in for a couple hours.
And,
So I don't know how much
Any
you can
training,
pack in. Yeah.
You said that.
but I also, I looked at, on the board, there's 3 of us that were principals. And I think that it would be a good idea if maybe they hear from former principals, what we had to do, what we had to go through in order to get to that level. I mean, just maybe we have one or two things that maybe we could just, that we could enlighten them on. I mean, I'd be willing to do that because, like I said, I hold the record for the person who took the longest to become a principal. And so I know every time I interviewed, I found out the reason why. I didn't just say, okay, I went and found out the reason why and was told. And eventually, you know, on the 24th time, it paid off. So I just think that, you know, I just think that we would have something to add, you know, not as a member of the board, but more as a former administrator of the county and what it took for us to achieve that.
I know on those days they're pretty packed, so I don't know that that could be, you'd have to add additional time if you wanted to make it that same. That was just going to be a separate meeting or a separate morning, an invitation, so we
Which is
can definitely can
whenever
invite.
you and your staff work it out, just
Okay,
let us
I'll send
know.
an invitation.
I don't think we need, if you don't mind me interrupting, Mr. President. I don't think we need to have a meeting to where that would jeopardize one of our meetings. I think if we're willing just to come in.
just a minute, volunteer.
To do that, to come and help out with the
Just make sure
session,
you get the invite.
you know what I mean?
I mean, we volunteered here at the end of these year, we volunteered 4 or 5 meetings and all. And so, what's another volunteer? I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just think it would be worthwhile.
So would you like me to pick a date and try to get a date where all 5 of you can do the,
I've already voted for 2 things on the 30th.
yeah, I think you're out of town.
She's out on the 30th as well.
Yeah, we'll have
When are
to.
you back? Just that week? What about the second week of August?
Well, do you want to pick the date?
Well,
Well, we're talking about 2 different things.
for
right?
work
Okay.
retreat, you guys need to have.
For us, when we have the meeting with the schools and staff, and then you're talking about the professional development. I mean, if it can be included in that, if it can be included in those days, maybe we can, I look at the 6th or 7th. 6th or 7th of August.
Regular board meeting, so you could have a regular board meeting that evening.
We can do,
Special levy meeting on the 6th. We can do that day.
yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, it'd be a long day, but
I think you need
split it
to
up between
have
the 6th and 7th.
also the folks that have been involved in doing the interview, if they would participate too, because
Yeah.
you have the 2 folks back here usually, maybe even Mrs. Mancini,
Right.
because they're the ones that are involved in that process. So that would be, I think that would be good because these folks are used to seeing them in interview.
But pick out,
I'll tell you,
pick out the
check.
dates that are correspond to what we got on the calendar. And like I say, this is a volunteer, you know, that it's not a meeting, it's just a volunteer for us to speak.
How does the 6th, 7th, or 8th look? Or 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th? What that week of the 5th?
Those are good for me.
Is that your special ed?
Right?
Got to
Oh.
be 8.
Yeah, I mean the 8th,
Yeah.
8th or 9th, 9th is Saturday, or 8th or 9th, Thursday or Friday. Do a day and a half.
You're talking about 8 for board retreat.
Yeah, 8th is good for me.
Oh.
You're back to the 5th now.
How about the senior?
That's what happens in the summer. That's
Yeah.
what happens.
5th is good for me.
Anything in July?
And yeah, so I was just ready to look, what
Pick
about
back up.
15th, 16th, or 17th of July?
Our principals are. I don't know.
On the 15th and 16th?
No, the 22nd. So that.
No, I'm out, that week I'm out.
The week of the
20th,
15th.
the week of the 22nd.
I think the date that you're gonna have the principals in, needs to be conducive to them. I mean, since how long the schools will get. And one day that they're working, you should try to include it in that, they're not bringing in, ask them to come.
What about,
Yeah, we took the July 22nd, 23rd, we got the principals, and bring them in the 16th. That's when they're all back.
Yeah.
We had to wait that long, to get them all back.
Well, the assistants, the principals are back on.
Principals will be back that previous week.
What about July 17th?
yeah, I think that would, either, it's gonna have to be this week of the 16th, I'm sorry, week of the 15th or the week of 30th. So try July 16th, 17th.
So you'll figure it out and let us know.
Yes, I'll look at it.
So it's not on 26th of July. Maybe you'll get shot that day. I just had it, that's what was on the calendar, so I just went,
I'll let you know. So a day and a half?
If we can fit it all in a day and a half. Yeah, or 2 days. The schedule for 2 days, and then if we finish early, we finish early.
16th and 17th.
Now, is this, are these a donated day, or this meeting, or is it?
I mean, we'd have to look, we can count. It is going to be a little different.
Because
Want to get
we're
40?
running more for the levy,
Mhm.
Yeah,
so,
Yeah, we've got the levy scheduled for discussion on 16th.
oh, yeah, that is.
So that would be a long day. We'll have to do a long day that day.
Well, question, if we did 16th and 17th.
Mhm.
we only really do a day and a half. We did work on the superintendent goals on the 17th.
Yeah, I think it's a
That's part
little
of that.
early to work on the superintendent goals, I think. We could probably get into August on some of that.
Regular meeting anyway.
Right.
Okay.
That regular meeting, we can put that on the agenda.
so the 16th is for,
16th, 17th.
what we doing?
Board retreat.
Board retreat.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know about the times? Do you know like what time it starts? Because I'll still be teaching, but I can rearrange things.
We normally start around 9. I think we have in the past, start around 9, 8:30, 9 o'clock.
so what date are you looking at?
Now the 16th and 17th. So that'll be an all day, that'll be an all day
There's
thing.
nothing on the 17th.
That's for the board retreat. So we'll go to 16th,
Just-
and we'll have our regular meeting
And
and our levy meeting on the 16th in the evening. And then on the 17th, we'll finish up the board retreat.
So you're saying 8:30 then because most folks are coming in at 8, is that what you're saying? Then they get
8:39.
8:30?
I was telling her, if you wanted to try to do it in a day and a half, you could do afternoon on the 16th to break that day up a little bit. You're not here 12
Yeah,
hours.
that's
So, I mean, if I think you're gonna do it,
Sometimes we
Anyway.
get 12 hours, sometimes we get 10 minutes for meetings. It just depends, doesn't it?
So
So,
we'll
Yeah,
look
that's
to
fine, we
see.
can see.
Yeah.
Let's find out that those days are good.
so in other words, we come like 9 o'clock on the 16th in the morning for the retreat, and we'll come back for 5 o'clock for the levy meeting.
Or do the afternoon, 16th.
So then later on the 16th, start
And then whole
later.
day on the 17th. Just, let's find out if those days are okay
That may
first, and
help,
then we'll
'cause you're
determine the
teaching
breakdown.
probably
Yeah, I'm teaching from 1 to 3:15.
We could do the morning and then come back in the evening. Yeah, find out if the 16th and the 17th are okay, and then we'll determine the breakdown.
All right. Next year, we'll try to get a date earlier.
Earlier, yeah.
A date earlier. And then I think, Mr. Lopez, you have a facilities update? There's a lot
Well-
going on in the schools.
Yeah, the big thing, right now is pre-construction meetings was scheduled for Monday, next Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock, I believe. The McKinley folks and everyone's going to get together, kind of set the game, the ground rules, and get an idea of a start date, materials, and different things like that. So we should be able, I should be able to bring back more information after that. And that, again, that's both for the Simpson and Nutterville project.
It's on the 8th?
Yes.
So you can bring that information back on the 16th?
Yes.
We have an advertisement out right now for Clerk of the Works for the, job. We need to have that, SBA requires that we have a Clerk of the Works, we have to advertise for that. It'll be a contracted position for so many hours. And we also have interviews for architects coming up for the MIP project for the, secure entrances.
Secure entrances.
So we have to hire an architect because it's an SBA project, so we've got those, that's already been advertised and we'll be interviewing. We got that date from Jill for those interviews coming up. So, anything else with the?
Well, the playground, right now, they're digging out, just so you know, the playground at Victory. So they're digging out, we had to take about a foot of dirt out so they can start with their installation. Hopefully they'll get that completed so those kids will have a place to play.
So did any say, excuse me, I'm sorry, did they say anything about when completion on that?
I did not get a completion date. I think maybe Whitney did talk to them more so than I had. So I'm not sure of the completion date.
I think personnel, Rebecca's already taken care of that. She was going to talk about the policies and give you the updates on the comments. Is there anything else you needed to?
No, there will be starting our second round of our public comments going out, that they are still able to go onto our main site and review the policies and make their comments. And once those have gone through again, I'll give you an update. And if we need to make any changes before we approve them, we can do that.
Could you leave the trees alone?
I will try.
We're not planning on hitting every policy on one meeting. We're gonna break them up, right?
They're all.
It's put on the agenda as a group to approve.
I
That's why we're doing the,
This is just for the policies, this is not the administrative guidelines.
right. My only concern is that if some people want to come in and speak to delegations, when we
Right.
approve all the policies at once, that'll be a very long, could be a very long night. If we would break them down, maybe, 10, 10, 10, or whatever one meeting, separate meetings, whatever the.
If it's really on their heart, they don't mind coming and sit and, wait your turn and speak. I mean, and they don't want to come speak.
how many policies are
I
getting
think our
published right now? Just a handful.
It's a handful in each one. The biggest one I would say is the student section, the policy 5,000. And it's more towards like your attendance areas and things like that. And some of those are state codes that we can't necessarily change. So, and it was suggested by our Neola representative to do all policies at one time. That is their recommendation to do that. And again, all of these are vetted through a legal firm that they work with. And what is also nice about the policies, if you look at the different ones, they give you like the state code, federal code, different things that they are pulling those from. So it's more conducive, more,
Transparent with
Yes,
what's-
yes,
Good.
transparent is a
Good.
very,
Mhm.
very good word, because as working with these, there's been a couple questions that have come up and stuff, and I've gone to those actual code, and I mean, it's almost verbatim what is in state, federal code that they are pulling from. So your administrative guidelines, which will come after that, is something that would, I know, probably like what you would do with your exam policy, just for example, or something like that, would be probably more conducive to
Those are the specific things to your
Yes.
county. The
Yes.
policies are really
just cut and dry.
State, federal
just- Yes.
statute.
Yes.
And then administrative guidelines are anything that we want to make specific to Harrison County. which could be they think.
intertwined, it's very difficult, because we even checked on trying to space it out to where, that's why they suggest you do them all, because they're very specific, whether it be professional and service, a lot of them are repetitive. And to where that's why you need to kind of approve them all at once, is how intertwined it all is, instead of spacing it out, because it affects so many different ones throughout. And it's, I mean, it seems like a lot, but it's much more completely vetted
Yes.
and, up to date and.
And the other nice thing too is, as there are legislative updates, Neola works with us, we get those, so once those start rolling in, I'll go in, pull our current policies that we would have once they're adopted. We'll get that verbiage, updated, present it to the board for you all to approve as well. So it'll be a continual cycle that we make sure that we are updated, per state, federal code as well.
Every time there's a legislature.
Right, yeah. that's-
Yeah, we will get policy update.
And we'll still have the opportunity to be able to cater to our county's needs within the training guidelines.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's all I have.
A question, I had a question. Oh, in regard to, number 4, the, preschool itself, and is it going to be there again this year? Or is that,
The modulars have been leased for another year. We're doing those on a year basis. So the 2 classrooms?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
oh,
They'll be
I thought they were only going to be there for a year.
No, when the construction is completed and the classrooms are finished, those classrooms will move in. They're happy in those modulars. I'm surprised. But
in
they
other
were
words,
new and very nice.
we're tied to them for the year then,
We do a year lease,
a whole year.
1 year at a
Okay.
time for those.
I was just thinking that it finished and that they'd be taking them out of there now.
They gave us the option to renew, and we did 1 year, and we'll just look at it at the end of the year. See how construction goes.
Okay.
This brings us down to consent items. There are a couple things that I would like to talk about on the consent items. Unanimous consent items, when it comes down to memorandums of understanding, we have one memorandum of understanding under the consent items, and then another memorandum of understanding under new business. In my opinion, we should put the memorandums of understanding in new business. I'd like to exclude that from consent items. The other question that I had regarding this is about the POs, all the POs, right? Are they blanket POs? What kind of POs are we talking about here?
Those are, state code, you got some to the authorized purchase order. They were not. So some of those, like HVAC lease agreements that we have, the financing of the HVAC equipment, those payments are only once a year, but we have no legal on for them. Other things like Amazon, there's multiple little teeny tiny POs throughout the year, and we look at what the historical average and purchasing. So that's how that.
Okay, can you give numbers for these POs? Have numbers?
I think they're all in there. If you look at the detail, you pull it up on your side.
I don't have it under mine. Is it-
I'm logged in and I don't see anything.
No, it's just a consent item for action to accept the,
Where you look at the second piece of the item.
unless it's in a different place.
Well, I think since in recommended action,
Yeah.
we don't have executive content.
Right.
It's just under recommended
Right,
action.
dollar amount.
The dollar amounts are there.
Let's see. I don't see them
For all of them.
for all of them. Good.
Recommended. Oh, yeah, it is. If you click on each one, it tells you the amount.
You're
Like,
logged in as a public.
Yeah, that's.
See, if you, when you
It's
click on it,
elevated.
like this one is
Let's see here.
energy savings project. and stuff.
As long as they're there, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to look at them, but I didn't see. Might be a Todd issue. Where's Todd?
Behind one on one.
No. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it came up. User error.
I just have, I have a question. When it says, like, take letter D, recommend the issuance of a purchase order to Bank of America for 2018 guaranteed energy savings project capital lease payment. So
That's when, yeah.
it's when it
When they
started,
started,
so
yes.
wasn't the purchase order approved back when it started?
No, that was only the lease agreement. We actually have to have a purchase order on each year for the annual payments on that lease agreement.
And so that
Put the
goes,
reference of the year in there, so you know which agreement it was that were actually approved.
so then that's the
Bank of
same
America
thing.
has two different lease agreements.
Okay, so then that's the same thing with the People's Bank for 2014
Was the 2014 project.
and the Community Bank at 2014. That's the same, that's for all of those like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there's the phone.
Awesome.
That's 2000.
So is there a motion to accept consent items as presented excluding the MOU for many family dentistry? We'll take that one separate.
So moved.
Mr. Hoag has moved. The second consent items, is there a second?
A second.
Dr. Santilli has seconded the motion. Is there any further discussion in regards to consent items? No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So let's take the memorandum of understanding with Minnick Family Dentistry. Is there a motion to accept Minnick Family Dentistry memorandum of understanding? And this is a continuing memorandum, correct? You've had that in school for a little while,
Yes.
just to give them, everyone kind of an understanding. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Mrs. Smith has made the motion. Mr. Tucker has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Take. New business, item A, Healthy Grand Families contract. Is there a motion to accept the contract for Healthy Grand Families Coordinator for the 24-25 school year?
So moved.
Mr. Tucker has made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
The 20 hours, I just can't imagine she only does 20,
I
only does
She only
20
has
hours a
20.
week on that, 50 a month. I just,
I think,
Yeah, last year we moved it, we added 10 hours.
like we're getting a good deal on that.
It was
It's-
40.
and is
We moved it to 50.
Pam okay with this? I mean, I'd move it up. If she wants to move it up, I would. You have a lot of experience with that right there.
Yeah, that's a heck of a deal.
Yes, that's
She
what I'm
has
saying.
another contract with PERC, so that's why she keeps her hours at a different, because she's in here doing all that kind of same
Together.
time. So that's why, yeah. She did come down, she did ask for the additional 10 hours, at least it should work, you know?
Okay. Right.
But her PERC contract is on here as well.
All right. Is there any more discussion on Healthy Grand Families contract? No more discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Item B, memorandum of understanding between Healthy Minds Clarksburg, formerly Summit Center, and the National Youth Advocate Program. Is there a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding between Healthy Minds Clarksburg?
Is this new?
I don't believe this is new.
It's the Project Aware Therapist, it's just the name of the Summit Center is changing
Oh,
their services.
Is there a motion to approve?
So
Mr. Tucker has made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Santilli has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Takes us to 2024, 2025 PERC contract renewals. Is there a motion to accept contracts for the PERC Center employees, Pam Hodson-Piller, Tracy Beal, and Krista Masters, presented by the superintendent for the 2024, 2025 school year? These contracts are standard.
Motion we approve the per contract renewals.
Mrs. Smith has made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Tucker has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Item D, memorandum of understanding between Community Care and Harrison County Schools. Is there a motion to accept the Community Care memorandum of understanding? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hoag has made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Santilli has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion on the memorandum of understanding?
What do these guys do?
That's our school-based clinics,
Okay.
and there's also the mental health piece.
They've been with
And what
us
do
for
they
quite a
do with
while.
that?
All of them.
I understand, because I know they have the school-based clinics, but I thought it was one.
There's the mental health piece we've been adding as they have brought on more therapists. So that's a second piece, and I believe, is it Bridgeport High that they're expanding into or wanting to expand?
Bridgeport High, Bridgeport Middle is what they're wanting to expand.
So we're trying to get all of our feeder areas covered.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a list right here. Primary and preventative health care, medical screenings, treatment for common illnesses and minor injuries, referral and follow-up for serious illnesses, emergencies, sports employment, physicals, immunizations, laboratory testing. So there's a list of
I got that.
comprehensive items, yeah.
I didn't realize that they had the mental health component.
That's
I
only
don't
been
remember
a couple
that.
years, it's only been a couple years,
I'd say that's what it is.
1 or 2 years, I think it's pretty new. All right, is there any further discussion? No further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. No policy updates, no old business. Takes us down to personnel. Is there a motion to accept personnel matters as presented by the superintendent?
So moved.
Mr. Hoag has made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Santilli has seconded the motion. Any discussion on personnel matters? No discussion on personnel matters? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Brings us down to legal and disciplinary matters. There are no legal and disciplinary matters. Board member comments. Mr. Tucker.
No, just thanks to the folks who were able to be here and for both meetings, and again, welcome aboard to you, Jenny, and Mr. Hoag, welcome back.
Back.
And we look forward to a productive year.
Mr. Hoag.
Let's keep moving forward.
Dr. Santilli.
Thank you all.
This is it.
I'm good.
I have no comments either. At this point, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
So moved and seconded. Any discussion? No discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.